That into my time.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. This is December 16th, 2025, the Knox County Board of Commissioners meeting. We have with us our department head for Knox County Water and Wastewater. So Jeff, I'll let you go ahead and share your report with us.
All right. Good morning, everyone. To touch base on some things that we had done in the past, or we had talked about in the past, well number 6 is now finished up running. The rehab work that we did on that was very beneficial. There's also a $50,000 expenditure that we were not expecting to spend this year, but still paid it out of the budget, and we're back online with it. Speaking of wells, well number 7, you guys know, is out for bid right now. The permit that we had got to put that well in had expired during our time. So Greg and I, the project manager, and I met with Ohio EPA last Thursday. They just needed to review the site again, make sure nothing had changed, which nothing has changed out there other than we do now have a driveway in for well 7. We should get the new permit this week. I kind of made sure that she knew that it was kind of top priority since bid openings are 1st of January. We want to have all of our ducks in a row. So she said it was top priority. So we should have the new permit back to allow us to put that in. Just formality kind of stuff. That it was 2 years and we've kind of played around with this for a while and thought we'd get done before it expired, but that did not happen. So.
Jeff, what's the do you have your engineer's estimate?
We do not.
Project
we
yet?
do not have the second phase. Now, we met with them on Thursday also after the EPA and reiterated that before the end of the year, I want to know what they're guesstimating that second phase. I mean, we obviously have the engineer's estimate for the first phase, but the second phase was a little bit of a sticker shock. So want to know so that you and I can work on some financing for that. So
You'll have an outside source drill that well, Jeff.
yes, correct. It is out for bid right now. So
Jeff, can you share on the first phase cost? That was like 80, wasn't it?
no, it was 90. Do you remember what that was?
94 or 97.
Yeah, I was thinking
That was to
that is to Cheryl. That is to drill the well. So they'll actually drill the well. There's testing required, water sampling, and pump testing that's all required in that first phase. All of that information then is gathered, and then we do what's called a PTI, permit to install, to EPA. So we will give them all that information, all of our design criteria, submit it to them. They will approve, hopefully, what we're planning on doing, and then we'll get a PTI. It's kind of a backwards thing, which you normally do with projects. So normally you do a PTI first, you get the approvals, then you put stuff out for bid. But with the well drilling, you actually drill the well and get all the water quality data, both gallons per minute that it can pump and the quality of the water.
and then the big expense in phase
Then the
2 is
big-
building the well housing and then
Right,
and then
yes.
hooking it up to
Putting all the infrastructure in is the second phase, which is running power, the control panels, the pumps, the piping over there, flow meter, all that kind of stuff. And that's the bigger part. So we've passed on to Arcadius that by the end of the year, we want to know what that number is. So they're working on that, getting a little bit better.
Arcadius is the engineer.
It's the engineering firm out of Columbus that we use. The city uses those guys too. Not same guys, but same company. Also, I've worked with them for several years. So they had one other project that was somewhat similar, and that's where they got the first sticker shock number at. So which was quite more than we had anticipated. So,
What was that amount?
I didn't find it
so
that quick.
I think it was 94. I think it was the engineer's estimate to 94,000.
Sounds about right.
Was the first phase. Yeah. So anyway, drive.
So still with that number 7, so the plan would be to have it done in 26.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. I probably should have just, we made some modifications. We have a time scope out, but some things needed to be modified in there. I wasn't real appreciative of how long it was taking. So we would hope by late summer that we're online with that well.
Okay.
So the goal was to be online before peak times, which our peak times are, June, July, August out there, but we should be on hopefully by late summer. I would say very early fall. August,
Now that you have
September.
6 back online and.
6 is back online, so we have our 2 main wells are running, but as we know, we're putting this in because you never know what's going to happen, and we ran without 6 for 3 months. So it's critical. That's the reason why we're doing that. Driveway, we've already installed the driveway in there, so that didn't need to be done during the project. We got that done. Guys went down and did it before it got bad. So. With well number 7, part of the requirements and the PTI is to revise and or create a new wellhead protection plan. So I have a meeting this afternoon. Project manager, myself and the engineering firm to go over what all we need them to do for us to update that plan. So they'll be looking at all the wells down there and the wellhead protection. The 300 feet around each well is the most critical part of that, but then that expands on out past that. But that 300 feet is the part that you need to have ownership of, maintain. That's why we own the property across the street, just for those 2 wells out close to the need out there. So the property. So
that 300 feet makes me think Baldine is.
Ball Diamond's going to hit into there now. We'll see what they say. I have nothing in on this. We'll let somebody that does this for a living. They have somebody on staff that's done a lot of these wellhead protections. So that is who we will be working with, and they can take a look and go through. Nothing that we're thinking is going to change, but just to realize that ball field is within that 300 feet on that well 6. Yes.
Or they could put some additional requirements, safety requirements or something like that.
Could be, yes. EPA was very, very appreciative. The lady that came out was not the one that I had dealt with to begin with on the first permit for well 7. She really appreciated the fence and the controls that we had around the well field down there. So that was the first thing she made note of.
Okay.
So,
Good.
but they were looking at everything. I guess there's a gas well that we didn't even know that's somewhere maybe up on that hill. That is still within the impact zone of our water aquifer. So that was something that she had brought up that I didn't know about. It's hidden amongst the trees up there. So those are all
On the
things.
south of the field there.
Yes, yeah. So it would be where the road splits and goes. I
Mhm.
guess she was thinking one up at the top of the hill up there.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, it's private property.
So this is inside the fence.
Yes, well 7 is inside the fence.
So going forward, you'll be going north with any other wells that you want towards the creek? Or
That would be correct. Talking to the well drillers, when we did some test wells before, when we did this test well for 7, we did a test well over by the 3 baseball diamonds and we got some good water, but not anything to produce adequate that we needed. So they're saying that it looks like that the water aquifer and where we would expand in the future would be towards the road, towards 36. Yes. Yeah, so down towards the Park District and that way would be.
That's positive for the ball.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it appears that going, and that was the reason why we did those test wells and we did them last, 2 years ago or whatever it was. And that was the reason to try to determine if, the well field or the ball fields were in where we're going to need to drill another well. And it appears that, they're safe in that part of it. So. Oh, still on water. I think I told you guys in the last meeting, we had inspections set up. The inspections are done. They did the back tank. They do a rover, so they actually just go in the tank. And I apologize. Hopefully next meeting I'll have some video just so you guys can see. It's kind of cool. But tank looked really good. So we don't have to take it down. We don't have to drain the water. They chlorinate the rover, drop it down in there and videotape the whole tank and see what the infrastructure looks like. All looks good. Front tank, the small one, the 100,000 gallon was drained, cleaned. It didn't have basically anything in it, but that keeps everything out of the back tank and throughout the system. Cleaned it, chlorinated it. Bacteria samples came back. I say good as being negative. And it's back online as of last week, one day, Tuesday or Wednesday, we bring it back online. So we're good for it for 2 more years. So we have a continuous program with this firm, and that they come in, and next year will be the 500,000 gallon tank will get taken down up front. And yeah, I know we don't dump it all. We were able to manage it. So we had to dump about half of that 100,000, but we drew it down real far, and then got rid of it. So it's only 50,000 net.
So a lot of water.
The bottled water. Yeah, well, it took longer to drain it than we thought, but it was coming out of a 1 inch line that we drained that tank. So we had anticipated, so we started a little earlier than we originally were going to. So Bladensburg, we have most of the septic tanks down there cleaned. We've got a few left, but it's one of those maintenance things that we have to deal with over a period of time. That system's been in for about 13 years, and there's been a couple, 3 that we've had to clean, but for the most part, we have not cleaned any of them in those 13 years. So that's got the bulk of them this year. So we went through and tested them to determine whether we need to clean them or not, and just about all of them needed to be cleaned at some sort. With that, we also had some issues with the plant itself. They're called recirculating beds. The water gets dumped, drains down through, and keeps getting circulating back. That's the treatment process. We've got all of the distribution arms are all clean, rehab, repaired. So we should see even some better results than what we were seeing coming out of there. And we were well within our permit limits, but we should see some better results this time when we go. We sample here in January. So that's a pretty big project. They were down there for 2.5 weeks, and that was full crew. That was basically all my guys, other than the necessities that we had to do back there. We were down there, so it took a while but we used our Vector truck, Bill. You know, that everything but the kitchen sink. That's what they pump these tanks with and haul back to our plant at Little Jellaway. So, and then we had some challenges with that sludge to get rid of, but we managed. So. We still see a lot of new house builds out there, still booming, at least in my little neck of the woods. They've got 3 services left this year to get finished up. So they're doing 1 or 2 today, even though it's cold. We need to get them done. Owners are wanting water, so we never stop, I guess. So they're working.
Would that put you? Yeah, I knew that before you were saying there was about 70 some.
Yeah, we're in that 70 some range. I'll know. Hopefully, the first of the year, I'll be able to give you a real number of what we ended up doing.
I think when we were doing the comp plan, when we pulled that data, and you pulled that data for me, that's about what we've been averaging, 70 to 80 houses a year out there.
Yeah. So it really has not. I mean, you know, we kept getting there's a couple house builders that have kind of pulled out and quit doing, but there's some other ones in there that have kind of picked up the slack. So we haven't seen much of a decline this year as like maybe a couple of them had told us that we were going to see. So good for everybody. It's more revenue for us. So we talked about the new track hoe. We're still there's some issues with that, so we're still dealing with that, and hopefully we'll get that finalized. There may be a change in what we're purchasing in that, so yet to be determined. Just not very happy about that one. So that's kind of a ball got dropped, and I'll take blame for that, even though we tried to buy a hoe that we had never seen. It's a new model, new to the United States, and maybe not all was cracked up to be. So we're still playing some games with them a little bit. So
do we have the unit?
No, we do not have the unit. So we have the money set aside to pay for the unit. And we have the quotes and everything. Actually, we already traded a piece of equipment in on this several months ago, because we were trying to help them out and let them have the tractor that we traded in, knowing that the peak time for them to sell was going to be May, June, and so yeah, we'll make out all right, but yeah, not happy about that one. So it's not went well. And it's been a very long time. We were supposed to have that thing in July. So it's now almost January. It's when they just got it in, and they had problems with it. So. The only other thing I have are our new building. The lot survey stuff is done, so the topography stuff that they shot for the engineers, and what they need to get the site plans and stuff done. They got that done last week they were in. The easement survey that we need for our sewer is, the survey part of that is done. There's been a little wrinkle because apparently the GIS mapping is off significantly. And there's more than one property we need to go across now, unfortunately. So we're trying to deal with an out of town state company to get the second easement. So if not, then we're gonna have to make some modifications to how we get from point A to point B. We do have the grinder can in for our, that'll be our little pump station for the office, and then if anything develops on that side, we'd be able to utilize it a little bit there. So we do have it in. It came in last week. So hopefully we'll get that all worked out here sooner than later. So then Jason and I can talk about some financing on that part. So.
Yeah, and I think the other thing we need to do is we need to get together and talk about rate structure.
Rate structure.
For water, sewer rates. We haven't looked at that for a while, and get some options to the commissioners soon, I think, on that.
Yeah.
To set that.
It's that time of year. I think if you read any place, I mean, obviously Mount Vernon just did it, but it's that's they're not alone. That's something that we all look at every year. So yeah, I've got some beginning stuff anyway, but can get to Jason and then we can go from there. But yes, we need to get, because that traditionally our rates have increased the March bill.
Right.
So if we're going to get something done in that time frame, we need to let our customers know. So. And then the only other thing I just thought about, and I think that I give Penny a letter. Jason had one. The reserves and some of the changes that we made with billing stuff out there. We're just starting to get some responses back with the reserves on them installing their own personal water meters at each of the facilities. And there's going to be some challenges out there for us. But you know, that property, some of that property was potentially going to be sold. So the way we were billing was going to need to be revised. So we've had single meters to one structure, and it's made it a little bit difficult. So we're working with the customers, and we'll try to bend over backwards to help them out as much as we can. But I did send a letter out last week, and I did send a copy down here, and Jason got a copy of it too. So just in case you guys get questioned, funnel them to us. So
As always.
that's the way it's supposed to be. That's the way it's supposed to be. All right.
Good. Well, thank you, Jeff.
You got anything? You got good? All right.
Okay,
Thanks,
thank
Jeff.
you.
Thank you, guys.
Have you had good holidays?
Yeah, you guys as well. My wife will be back, so I can be a bachelor here anymore.
Well, you're not. You have all those goats to take care of.
And grandkids. See you guys.
Thanks, Jeff. Do some resolutions.
So we need to appoint, or I guess approve reappointment of Christina Reinheld to the Knox County Law Library Resources Board.
Motion to approve.
Second.
And those in favor, say aye.
Aye. And then we have reappoint Jeremy Abrams to the Knox County Law Library Resources Board.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I think those are the only two commissioner appointees on that board, correct? Yeah. And then we have to reappoint William Bill Hanna to the Knox County Board of Developmental Disabilities.
Motion to approve.
Second.
And those in favor, say aye.
Aye. And then appoint Patty Cunningham to the Knox County Board of Developmental Disabilities.
Motion to approve.
Second.
And those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And then to appoint Griffin Rothgett to the Knox County Board of Developmental Disabilities.
Motion to approve.
Second.
And those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, then we have the agreement for implementation for the Knox County Litter and Recycling Prevention Office. This is just, this is DKMM's contract for Matt. And so they sent that down and it's ready for approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
And those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And then we have Annex P, Prevention and Protection for the Knox County Emergency Operations Plan. This is an update to the Annex P.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And that just requires one signature. And then approve advertisement for the Knox County Engineers Office for the annual request for qualifications for professional design and consulting services for 2026-2027 calendar years.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
There it is. Then we have approved a change order number one for number one final for small to asphalt paving for the Knox County Engineers Annual Resurfacing 2025. It is a decrease of $1,823.46.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
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 That just requires one signature. Then we have a change order number one final for small to asphalt paving for the Knox County Engineers OPWC Michi Road Improvement Project. It's an increase of $48,231.24. And this is the final adjusting change order to balance contract values.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We have a contractor's application for payment number 5, final for Smalls Asphalt Paving. This is annual resurfacing in the amount of $109,656.41.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
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 And then a contractor's application for payment number 3 to Smalls for the OPWC Michi Road resurfacing for $51,437.39.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And then now we have some utility permits. This one's for AEP Ohio, and this is on Columbus Road and Clinton Township.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And we have Ohio Cumberland Gas on Nunda Road and Brown Township.
Motion to approve.
I second.
Those in favor say aye.
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 And then approve ODOT contract pricing for the county engineer to purchase a 2027 Western Star tandem axle chassis truck. And this is in the amount of $152,789.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
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 I think that just requires one signature. And then approve a bid award for the Knox County Engineer pavement marking. And this was to that Oglesby Construction in the amount of $103,661.80. This is the one we opened, I think, for the last week.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. And that's it. And then he's got 4 sets of minutes for you to approve. And I don't think there's anything else, Penny? Nothing else added, right?
Nope.
And this DKNN, we would need to have signed, right? It's good.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
already signed it.
I heard.
This is just one. You're right.
Yeah, I think probably print, Springfield, the print and sign, I guess, yeah. Thursday, we'll have the general fund budget to present, and we'll start at 10:30. Correct, as there's a land bank meeting.
Right.
Yes.
So it'll be a 10:30 start. Andy, did you update that on that website?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And for those who are still online watching, we do have a public hearing tonight. At the Memorial Theater, 6 o'clock. We will be discussing the permanent assessment base. For the north branch of Ford Creek Drainage Project. And it shall be an exciting time for all to come. And to share during that time, we do have drone footage of the project, the drainage project. We'll give the public a chance to hear about the project and be able to have their public input. And that's tonight at the Memorial Theater, 6 o'clock. And now, for the exciting part of our meeting, have Scott Boone with us from the Department of Job and Family Services. Thank you, Scott, for being with us.
Thank you as always for having me every month. I have some light updates and as always, happy to answer any questions that you have. Child support remains relatively the same since, I had Dareth, our administrator, down here, I think in August. We're still hovering around 3,100 cases, 467 seek work cases. We're approaching about $4.5 million in collections for the year. 97% paternity establishment rate and around 94% support order establishment rate. So again, a lot of it's formula based, but our staff are very attentive to the family needs and the contacts that we receive to make sure that the support's getting to the kids that deserve it. And as always, they're doing a very stable job.
That's good.
Public assistance, we're a bit short staffed. And you've heard me talk before, those positions are a little bit difficult to fill. And even when we do, it takes about 2 years to get them acclimated to the job. You know that we're part of the Collaborate call center where we share with 8 other counties applications and redeterminations, and we're exploring how we go about continuing that relationship because of the needs of the people in our community. We feel like it might be in their best interest to handle only Knox County calls and applications versus the ones from the other counties. The way that we're drawing it up or the research we're doing thus far, in order to receive the technical support from the state, we still have to be part of collaboration or a group. So we would still tentatively be associated with C8, but only supporting the other counties in an emergency basis if we follow through with what we're looking at doing. Carla's gonna go down to Licking County tomorrow as they've removed themselves from their group and are handling only Licking County cases. So we're trying to monitor and shadow some of the other counties and communities that have gone in that direction. Again, it's all for what's best for Knox County families, and we've had, we think, a very good run of helping the other counties and receiving help from other counties as well. Don't get me wrong with that. But this is something that we're looking at, just to continue the integrity of the work that we do here in Knox County. So more to come on that.
Scott, is that, you're talking about staffing being low, if you did that, would the staffing you have be adequate to take care of Knox County?
It would, and right now, Jason, it's adequate for the way that we're associated with C8 now. What Carla and I talk about often is, if we get an unexpected surprise, for example, we've got a worker that's gonna be out on leave for another, or for 30 days, maybe 45. She's one of our more experienced staff, so how do we fill the gaps with that? Well, the supervisors are covering that work. But life throws you lots of hiccups and curveballs, so if we lose another one or two, then we might be in a little bit of trouble, and then we're not in that top 3, top 5 in terms of statistical compliance and those different types of numbers that are important to us. So, part of it's an attempted prevention, and part of it's maintaining the status quo and making sure that we're continuing the excellence of the work that we've had for the last number of years. Does that help?
Yeah.
Workforce, there's the Central Ohio Workforce Board region. It's got a new name. It's not an acronym. It's Aspire, ASPYRE. And so we've gently been communicating with them. The Greater Ohio Workforce Board is still looking to replace John Trott, and we're hoping that we'll get some news about that at the beginning of the year. It's a significant loss to the Central Ohio counties that have been connected to Gobi. But we're confident that they'll find a replacement that will carry on that work. Aspire has received a couple of grants, and Gobi has signed on to at least one of them, and Knox County has been included in that work, and we're not entirely sure what that looks like or what it means for us. So we've been on a number of video calls and participating in meetings to determine where we fit into all that, because the grant responsibilities are not clear in terms of what's expected of us. Are we supposed to be contributing financially? Are we gonna receive financial benefits? The answer we're getting from Aspire is we don't know, we're not sure. We'll get back to you. So we're just continuing that dialogue, so just to let you know that there might be some potential changes that I'll be talking about next month. And then social services, we're approaching our goal of 30+ licensed foster homes. We should have 32 by the beginning of 26. We're still hovering around 62 kids in custody. We have 2 adoptions planned for early next year. And when I talked to Danielle, our administrator, she brought to my attention that when adoption filings occur, that's usually through an independent attorney. It's on behalf of the adoptive parents. And there's a fee connected to that, which is, we've experienced around $2,000, and that's a significant financial burden for the adoptive parents. And what we found with that is that the attorneys that are available and willing to do that work, sometimes it takes 6 to 8 months for them to actually file that paperwork, creating more of a delay in permanency for those affected children. So Danielle and our in-house attorney, our contracted attorney, Chip Welch, have adopted a new practice where we're gonna file on behalf of the adoptive parents, and that'll expedite the timeliness of that moving its way through the juvenile court system and getting those kids a forever home and so on and so forth. And, just eliminating the cost and eliminating the the time spent.
So the $2,000, who's that paid to? Is that paid to the
But
court
it's paid to the
system?
attorney
But
that
for the
would handle the filing,
Okay,
right? So, and it's, you can argue that's maybe at a discounted fee comparatively speaking, but you know, free's better than 2,000. So,
Right.
and we feel like, you know, we have those relationships with Judge Nixon in the court. We know, Chip knows how to navigate those legal avenues. So we feel better about this way of doing business. And then the other thing that, we just had a meeting yesterday with, some representatives from Public Children's Services Association of Ohio. They have accepted us into the second cohort of the PACT program. PACT, P-A-C-T, stands for Practice and Action Together. And it's a new initiative. There were 8 counties in the first cohort. We're part of the second with another, I think, 7. And it's a collaborative practice model where it's interested in building culture and relationships, and it involves families that have lived experience with the social services system, and just building the communication and discussions through that so that we can do a better job helping them maintain their kids safely in home, or if not, reunifying them safely within an expedited time frame that makes sense. So that's, we're just very early into that programming. And of course, I'll keep you updated as we move forward with that. But other than that, we're still financially balanced, and all else is well with Job and Family Services at the moment.
so when you say financially balanced, are we caught up?
We're all caught up. All those quarters were behind
Yeah.
beginning, you know, what, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. You've helped us get whole in that.
Been on the SNAP benefits? Have we had any more fraud going on?
No, not so much that. The attention with the government shutdown and the interruption of benefits, that's sort of been the focus, not just for Knox County, but for a lot of communities. And so there was that delay, and then we weren't sure if recipients were gonna be made whole for November. They have been,
Good.
and moving forward, we expect more of the same. So, and we haven't really had any calls on, you know, with people upset about not getting the benefits that they deserve and applied for. In February, I'm gonna bring one of our adult protective contracts from area agency and agent Rick Meeker.
Mhm.
There's a new trend in terms of individuals that are convincing folks 60 and older that they need to sell their homes now. Otherwise they'll face missing out on the profit they deserve, and it's a fraudulent habit and scheme. And there are a lot of particulars involved that include family members, but also outside individuals that are trapping people into thinking that they better sell their homes now at a significant discount, or they're not going to get what they should out of it, and it's leaving a lot of people homeless and in some very dire circumstances. But Rick's the subject matter expert on that, and I thought, and they're planning an event in Knox County in March. But I thought it would be helpful to have all you have him as an audience in the event that you couldn't attend that, so you can hear more specifically how that's affecting people in the region and specifically Knox County. So I'm waiting to hear back from him, but I'm hoping that he'll be here for the February meeting.
Okay, good.
That'd be great.
And then I had heard that maybe this wasn't SNAP, but everyone was going to have to refile
That was a rumor and that's false.
Okay,
That was being reported, I think, by one of the Columbus stations, maybe more than one,
Yeah.
and we did get a couple of calls about. Is this true and why do we have it? I mean, just the volume of it all would be overwhelming.
yeah,
To us and all the other counties, so that's, I don't know how that evolved, I don't know how that ended up getting reported out the way that it did. It's not true.
okay, good to know.
If it changes, I will be in touch, but yeah, that caused a little bit of anxiety for us, but we were able to talk to the people that make those decisions formally, and we're told that's not how we're gonna do business.
That's good.
Yeah.
And then do we still have any children that are outside of Ohio that are being served? We had a person that was in Florida.
We still have that kid in Florida, yeah,
Okay.
that'll be for another probably 6 months to a year.
Okay,
The one child that I told you about that had essentially been living in the agency for 6 months and beyond, we connected him to a facility in Toledo and he's doing very well.
good.
So he's in a structured environment where he's working steps, but that'll probably continue another, again, 6 months to a year still, but the goal of eventually reacclimating him into a community setting and stepping him down along the way to where he's able to do that in a healthy manner. So we're very pleased with that.
And how many children do we have in the pipeline that are available to be adopted?
Two,
Just the two?
just the two. Yeah. That's, as you know, the last course of permanency, but one that's necessary sometimes. So yeah, both of those should go through. We have one, I think, that's on the docket for early next year already, and then Danielle's filing another one, and that'll be in probably the spring.
Good.
Okay.
For the
Yeah.
County Commissioners Association, they discussed the need for beds in Ohio, that we really have a shortage across the state for that, and I think they're trying to address that, right?
I think so. There's different associations. I talked about Public Children's Services Association of Ohio, Ohio Job and Family Services Directors Association. They're constantly in talk with lawmakers at the state level to A, remind them of the crisis, and B, help support any remedies that might be working themselves through. I think now that the budget's sort of worked itself out, we can start paying attention to those types of things. But yeah, the County Commissioners Association, that's a great voice to have in that discussion.
It was Angela Sasser, I think.
Yeah, she's PCSAO.
She's very delightful.
Yeah, she's very knowledgeable, and she's very connected with legislators, so we're happy to be a part of that group.
Good.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank
No, thank you, Scott.
All right,
Thank
Merry
you,
Christmas.
Scott.
Happy holidays.
Yeah, you also.
So Brian's not here yet, but he's probably on his way, so we may just wanna have Andrew put us on it, unless you guys have things that they put us on.
I'll do pause.
We brief pause.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll do a brief pause then, and when Brian Biggerstaff gets here, we'll have his report, and then again, we'll be having everyone understand that tonight's meeting is for the north branch of the Ford Creek drainage projects. We will do a pause. And phone call text. Well, welcome back again. We have a delightful Brian Biggerstaff who has an excellent report about our dog shelter and how happy the dogs are that Christmas is here and they're ready for anybody to use them for pulling sleds and stuff like that. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, Brian, go ahead.
Okay. So the monthly report for November 2025, we had a total of 29 dogs enter the shelter. 15 of those were owner surrenders and 14 were stray. We had a total of 35 dogs leave the shelter in the month of November. We had 20 adoptions, 6 euthanasias, and we had 9 returned to owner. It should be noted that 5 of the 6 dogs euthanized in November were at the owner's request due to the dogs being aggressive, having a bite history, or for medical reasons. And 1 dog, the shelter euthanized for being aggressive. As of yesterday, Monday, December 25th, or 15th, there were 10 dogs at the shelter. 8 of those are available for adoption. 1 is waiting to be picked up by its owner, and 1 is waiting to be picked up by a rescue group. Out of the 10 dogs at the shelter, 9 are owner surrenders, and 1 is a brought-in stray. And there are 2 dogs at the shelter that have been at the shelter for over 60 days. A total of 3 citations were issued in the month of November. Deputy Brian Weiser issued all 3 of those citations for failure to control.
It's 10, like the lowest number for quite a while, and then at the shelter.
Yeah, no, we've had quite a lot of adoptions and
Yeah.
we've done pretty well last month and this month.
I think I've asked you before, how many can you actually house there?
I mean, we've housed over 90 dogs at one point.
No
in-
kidding.
In crates and different things in the garage and different areas, but I think the shelter's designed to hold 73 kennels for dogs, or it can.
Mhm.
So when someone adopts a dog, is it a common policy that we chip them at the same time?
Yep, all the dogs that we adopt out are chipped. All the dogs we adopt out are spayed or neutered, up to date on their rabies, have Bordetella and distemper vaccines, heartworm tested, and have flea and tick preventative care for 1 month.
How is dog tag sales going?
It's going good.
Yeah, so we're
So,
1 month in, right?
We've been,
Or
yeah,
almost 1 month in.
we've been pretty consistent at the shelter, people coming in and
Yeah.
getting their licenses, so.
Good.
And I think next month I'll have a kind of a bow on 2025's licenses and everything for the shelter.
And they have the capability of renewing those online.
Yep, they can do them at the shelter here in the building at the auditor's office or online as well.
And so I assume that you're able to give us a report then as to how many were online, how many were in person.
Yeah,
So we can see.
yeah, we can
Right.
definitely do that for sure.
Be good. And then anything, you said something about doing something at the ceilings out there.
Yeah, just some stuff there in the kennel, I think we talked about.
Yeah,
that
just some
next year
general maintenance we're
Yeah.
looking at possibly doing.
in 26.
So it's been a good year and down to 10, and then 2 of them are on the way, right? So we'd be down to 8 if no one else shows up for
Yeah.
us.
Yep.
And so Commissioner Lester, if he wants to take home a surprise dog for his wife for Christmas.
Commissioner Lester's been out there twice to try that and it hadn't worked out yet.
We have 8 at the shelter. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good. Thank you, Brian, for your service for this year.
Yep.
And you and your family and all your peeps out there at the shelter. Have a good Christmas and happy New Year.
Did you get a lot of good response from the Tyler
Yeah.
article?
Yeah, we did, definitely. We had a lot of people that stopped in that
Right, that's good.
said that they read the article and
Good.
they appreciate it and all that we're doing. So,
That's good.
Good.
yep.
Have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you. You too.
Merry Christmas,
Yep.
Brian.
So I'll remind everybody that Thursday's meeting starts at 10:30. Because we have a land bank meeting before that. 10:30 will be our starting point at that session. And I think Penny, don't we have a bid opening? On that Thursday as well. So we trust everyone will have a good evening, good afternoon, and come to the Memorial Theater tonight at 6 o'clock for our ditch hearing. Commissioners, anything?
Just, it was a great honor to be part of Food for the Hungry. I don't know what their total was, but maybe we'll hear that.
Cheryl probably has that. It's supposed to be today, right?
Yeah, they'll get the number today.
Well, everyone have a good afternoon, and we shall be adjourned.